everyone, it's me, Regina George. Welcome back to my George podcast, where I interview famous people that have my last name as their first name. On this Wednesday, October 16th, our very special guest is the one and only George Washington.
Hello, Miss Regina.
Welcome, George.
How do I use this?
Okay, so you have to it's on, don't worry.
Hello!
You can just leave it there, yeah.
Hello, Miss Regina. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. But, George, why aren't you wearing pink? It's Wednesday.
I apologize, Miss Regina. I did not realize there was a dress code.
It's okay. It's just on Wednesdays we wear pink. So.
Understood.
So, anyway, let's get into this. So, you're like the president of the United States. And I am like the president of my school. So, president to president, what's it like being president?
Well, it's a lot of responsibilities for one. Especially because our nation is so new, I must set a precedent as president. Ha!
Yeah! Anyway, so what responsibilities do you have as president?
Well, just normal. Enforcing laws and signing those bills into laws and acting in a time of crisis, that sort of thing.
No, oh my gosh, I totally get it. Because, the other day, my friend Karen, this girl was just talking so bad about her, and I was like, what the heck? Because she was talking to me, and I had to react in that time of crisis for my friend Karen, and I had to, be there for her, but also, I had to get the scoop, so I totally get it.
How did you become president of your so-called school? I figured only men could obtain an education.
Oh, well, I'm just, the best, and I'm so popular, and just everyone loves me, so it's kind of like you, right? That's why you got elected?
Well, I also fought the whole war as general, so there was that.
Oh, well, I got hit by a bus, so...
What's a bus?
It's like a really big carriage or so, with 6 horses or something.
Oh my God, woman, how are you standing?
I don't know, just, like I said, I'm just the best.
Shall we discuss something else?
Oh, sure. So what's your love life like?
Well, there's my Martha.
Spill.
Well, I've been with Martha for many years now, and we live together a comfortable life on Mount Vernon, and we raise the children there. And though they're not my children, they're still my children in a way, I suppose. I'm very faithful to her.
I love that.
But then there was Sally. Feared was unchangeable. She would not marry a man of lower class, so she went for my best friend instead. I suppose it's well enough. They both visit often.
OMG, girl.
I'm sorry, you were saying something.
No. You have to go get her. Because you are the one in charge, and she cannot just go off like that and reject you, because I did that with my ex-boyfriend Aaron, because my friend Katie wanted to go after him, but no, because he was my ex-boyfriend, so I got back together with him, and I cheated on him a few times, but you know what I mean? I claim what was mine.
I suppose that could work in a way, but let's move forward from that. You talk about your friends a lot. Shall we discuss that?
Yeah, well, we don't have to talk about them because this is my podcast and I'm interviewing you. So let's talk about your friends. Did you ever meet anyone fake?
Well, there was Thomas and Alexander, 2 very bright men, both in my cabinet, and I considered both of them very good friends. But, oh my God, I hated coming into the office just knowing that they were there, bickering all the time. They could never get anything done.
No, oh my gosh, you don't understand. Literally, my friends Karen and Gretchen, I give them one simple task and they just cannot do it. And I'm like, what are you doing, you idiots?
You're right, I do feel like that sometimes. But none were worse than Benedict Arnold.
Oh?
Benedict Nausea, he was a good friend of mine as well, and a very good general. And so, during the Revolutionary War, after his efforts, I gave him 500 troops. I told him, go storm Quebec. And you know what he does? You know what he does? He comes back with no men and injured. Well, I have no choice but to demote the man. And I guess he got a little bit upset and went to some loyalist colonies and sold out our position to the Brits. The Brits! Of all people. He was fully acquitted. I wanted to kill the man, but I guess he'll be reprimanded by the law.
Wow, that was a lot. You know what? I got something for you. Here. This is my online burn book. It helped me a lot. Yes, it's where you write about people and you just write everything you don't like about them, and then you can make a picture and make it really anyway, you need this. Yeah.
I see. Thank you, Miss Regina.
And while he's doing that, let's turn to some of our supporters to show just how amazing my podcast is.
I listen to the George podcast every day. It's like my religion.
I hear Regina's voice more than my own sometimes.
Last week, Regina and George invited George Clooney, so I watched everything with George Clooney.
Regina has a podcast, so I have a podcast.
I heard her equipment is better than the ones at radio stations.
Last week, Regina insulted me on her podcast. It was awesome.
Okay, back to me now. So, George, why don't you tell me about what the war was like?
Well, it was difficult, especially during the colder months. A lot of my men were starving and dying of the cold. Meanwhile, the Brits, they had fancy uniforms, warm uniforms, and all of these better guns than us. And they had the drums.
Oh my God, shut up!
I apologize.
Oh, no, I didn't mean like that. I meant that's insane, because they had all that and they still lost.
Well, it was pretty simple when they were banging on those blasted drums everywhere they went. Drums, drums, into the night.
Okay, but how did you win?
Well, we had spirit. That is what the Brits did not. And we never gave up until the very end. You know, I bet King George felt so ashamed of himself that that's the reason he seceded his forces early. It was a good win for the people of America. You're welcome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Gave me a lot of history homework. Okay, this last question is just for my friend Katie, because she's a total nerd, and she just wanted me to ask this. What advice would you give to the American people about government?
Well, the government is still very complicated and very complex. But the one thing that I would address, and I did actually put this in my farewell address, is I would greatly advise against political parties. Because I fear that they create a distrust among the people. The second thing is to never give up. As I mentioned, if we had given up our troops, we would have never driven the Brits back, and we may be still under monarch rule, but no more. As long as you persevere, and like you with that 6-horse carriage, you will get through anything. And third is to take time to relax.
Yes.
Relax yourself after years of war and fighting and presidency and listening to Thomas and Alexander. You deserve to relax.
Yes.
Take time for yourself. That is my advice.
Thank you, George. That was some very wonderful advice. All right, well, that is all the time that we have, George. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you again for having me, Miss Regina.
Of course. By the way, before you go, I love your coat. Where did you get it?
Oh, it was stitched by one of the Daughters of Liberty from Old Rags.
Oh, that's so, cute and so eco-friendly. Yeah.
Did you say something?
Oh, no, don't worry about it. Yeah. Anyway, that's all for this episode of the George Podcast. Tune in next time for an interview with George Harrison. Some kind of beetle, I think. Bye, losers.